Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes. Welcome to, here we are. It's live at 5. Welcome to Addicted to Love, Survive and Thrive in the Time of Chaos. I'm Marbeth Dunn, and I have an amazing panel today. And I'm going to be introducing them. Well, we have Terry Wildeman, and we have Chris Salem and Diane Collins, and I'll be introducing them a little better, a little further on in the call. And first, I want to start with the meditation. And I don't know about you, but things have been very strange lately. Yes, they've been very strange lately. And those of us who are often very balanced and calm and centered and peaceful have been experiencing, I'm talking about myself, and Terry also, we've been experiencing an interesting day. So we'll see what happens here. And but we're going to start with a meditation. And what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes and just become aware of your butt on the chair and become aware of your back and where that fits against the chair and your feet on the floor. Just notice what's bringing us into the present moment where we can be very present and very aware of what's happening right now in the present moment. Now listen, do you hear of any sounds besides my voice? I actually hear like a little buzzing, maybe the air conditioner. And I know those of you in the north are saying air conditioner, but I'm here in Florida. So we are being aware. And what other senses do we have? We have the sense of smell. So are you noticing anything or tasting anything? And just, are you even aware of maybe a breeze? Just notice what's happening in the world of your senses. What's happening within your body? Are there any thoughts that are flitting through your mind? Just notice, be aware, and be very, very, very present. Good. And now we're going to follow the breath into our lower belly. So we're just going to follow the breath all the way down. And today I'm just going to even go down a little deeper into the root chakra, which is at the base of your spine and forward. And we're just going to notice this is a place of security, of safety. So we're going to be here for a minute. And while we inhale and exhale in the body, we'll just notice the root chakra and expand it if we can, because that creates a sense of safety. And you can also say to yourself, I am safe. I am strong, I'm resilient, I'm safe. And just notice what happens in your body as we focus on this root chakra. Very important part of the chakra system. It's the base of all of the other vortexes in our body. And so now let's bring our awareness into our hearts. Bring your hands over your heart. Bring your awareness underneath your hand. Feel the warmth. Feel the love that's underneath your hands. It's a center of love. And we can intensify this love. Just breathe into the heart and feel the love within intensifying and growing. Feel that love. And feel that love spilling out of the body. The more love we share, the more we have. And so we're going to extend this love to everyone on the broadcast, and to everyone in our neighborhood, and to everyone in our city, in our state. Just feel that love just spilling out and expanding. And it just seems that the more that we can extend, the more there is. And the more there is, the more we share. The more we share, the more there is. So just share this love. Just feel it extending out. We bless everyone on the call. We bless everyone in our nation and all the nations on the earth. We feel this love just spilling out, uniting all together and blessing all the people on the planet, no matter where they are. We've got you covered with love. And we're extending that love into the heart of Mother Earth, into every crack and crevice and pore of Mother Earth, all the way out into the celestial beings, the beautiful sky, the stars. We're expanding this love, expanding it throughout the Milky Way, expanding it throughout the universe. Our solar system is included, our beautiful sun star. This love is everywhere. And you know what? This love is who we are. So we are the love that's extending. And notice that we don't have any limits. No limits to our love and no limits to our being. We are pure love. We're powerful. We're powerful healers. Love is a powerful healer. And whatever the question, it's the answer. And we recognize that we're created in the image of our Creator, which is love. Love is everywhere. As soon as we remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, we realize that it's everywhere. It's within us, without us. It's all one, and we are all one. We are blessed. Blessed with love, blessed to share love, blessed to be love. So just soak it in and intensify it. Look at our love filling up the entire universe all together. And as we surround our beautiful planet with love, we see everyone on the planet perfectly healthy. And we remember that we're not physical beings. We do have a physical part of ourselves, but our essence, being love, is also spirit. So we are pure spirit, pure love. Feel the love and the peace and the blessings. And then very gently come back. Wiggle your fingers and toes and come back. Yay. There we go. Harrison, why don't you come on over?
You're gonna have to face it, you're addicted to love.
What an entrance.
You're gonna have to face it, you're addicted to love. You're not home, your lights are on. Okay.
Okay, he's addicted to love.
I'm addicted to love, right from the heart, addicted to love. When I was 7, I was addicted to love.
So let's introduce our amazing panel. We have, in our upper left, we have Terry Wildeman, Business and Resilience Accelerator, certified emotion code and body code practitioner, and founder of the Intuitive Leadership University. And I'm very proud to be a faculty member.
Yes, you are.
We have Harrison Klein, award-winning personal growth transformationalist, author, speaker, and metaphysician. We have Chris Salem, business and emotional intelligence strategist, radio host, and media personality. And I think we just lost our microphone. There we go. And we have the amazing Diane Collins. Woo! Lady in red.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
All of our close friends.
Do you quantum think? New thinking that will rock your world. And the Do You Quantum Think system of thinking. Diane is amazing. Everybody here is amazing. I am just overjoyed to have everyone here on our panel. So, addicted to love. Who here is addicted to love?
Oh, yeah.
I can't take it. I'm addicted.
We're going to be addicted to something. That's the best thing.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, how does that manifest in your life, Terry Wilderman?
Oh, the first thing that came up was my family. You know, it's today we were on Duo, and I had both my girls are in California. They're both quarantined, and we're out here on the East Coast. And just to be able to share the love using technology is so amazing to be able to do that and know that as a mom, I can send them love. I can feel their love, and it just feels really, really good to be able to do that. And again, use technology to stay in touch. There are so many people today who need to learn technology. I don't like to use the word need. Need means lack. It may be a benefit for them to learn how to work with technology to stay in touch with their families in ways that is innovative, in ways they've never done before. My husband's trying to use the phone in the other room, teaching him how to do it, so all four of us can be on the phone at the same time. It was pretty funny. It was quite hysterical. And we just laughed. I mean, we just kept laughing and cracking up because the man was just, it's just not working, you know? And being able to stay in touch with all of our friends around the world. It's just phenomenal.
It's wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Diane, how are you addicted to love?
Am I addicted to love? It's something that I'm feeling all the time. And it's more than that. You know, when I think about love, I think there in your meditation, which was so beautiful, Goddess of Peace, Marbeth, that anything that's in the way of it means that there is nothing, as you said, there's nothing but love. I mean, it sounds almost trite, but it really isn't. It's just truth. This is a time of truth, by the way, emerging more than ever. So when we know the truth of love, I think what it is for me is how can I emanate that more and more? And if I ever find myself contracting a little bit, just a little, then I want to notice it. My intent is, you know, my all-purpose, all omnipresent intent is to notice when I'm not emanating that wherever I go, because wherever we are in physical space, wherever we are, we're always emanating. All of us know that. Our state, our current state of being. And so that's what it is for me, is to be addicted to being in that state so that I'm personally always emanating it out in every way that I can, in every action, even if I'm with myself and whatever I'm doing. And because, as you're saying, there is nothing else. But the difference for me is being in a concept about it, which we're not in the experience of, or being actually in the experience of it, here and now, present, right now in this moment.
Beautifully said. Chris, Salem, what about you?
Thanks, Marbeth, and great insight from Terry and Diane here. So in terms of me, before I talk about why I'm addicted to love, let me talk about the opposite of that, because 20 plus years ago, I was addicted to other things that were not healthy.
Ooh.
And that was the validation, the constant need to be validated that went unfulfilled, living in a world of expectation and experiencing it through letdowns and anger, and led to other what people think addictions are: alcohol, drugs, sex, you name it, all the bad stuff that were associated with that. But see, in order to really appreciate love and the people you care about, you have to love yourself first. You can't be of value to someone if you can't be that value. So I had to experience the opposite in order to find myself, my true inner being, to overcome these challenges where this need of validation, and to experience that, so then I could get into the solution of creating a place where I could love myself unconditionally and the other people that mattered, and attract those types of people into my life, and to be that example. In order to be that example, I had to develop a process of certain things that would allow me to be that value to myself, so that I could be that value to other people and inspire them to do the same for themselves. So love to me is unconditional. It's serving from a place of gratitude, being humble, and leading by example. And that to me is love. And it's interdependent. It's not codependent. It means that if we're going to be happy, we have to choose to be happy, and then do things that complement that happiness, or share that happiness with other people that are doing their part. No one is going to make you happy, and we can't expect. Matter of fact, get rid of that word. Don't even use the word expect. Anticipate. Don't anticipate someone's going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You have to bring joy into your life, and make that a choice, and to be that, and then share that interdependently with other people that truly matter to you, and that you choose to bring into your circle.
Beautifully said, Chris. I love that. Boy, these great answers. Harrison, how are you addicted to love, baby?
I manifested you, baby, and I'm terribly addicted. Well, to me, love has, an addiction is something that is a compulsive need to connect with some substance or thing or experience in one form or another. And so, most people don't really understand that love, in fact, is a substance. It's a real substance, and it permeates everything. It permeates our skin, it permeates every material thing that's out there, and it permeates the ethereal realms and all the other realms that are out there. It's actually a substance. If you read like Wallace Wattles, or you read Ernest Holmes, or any of the people that are the 19th and 20th century people of a science of mind and so on and so forth, they spoke directly of that substance. And then that tradition was carried on and on and on for many, many people, leading to what we are right now. And so the love of all things, or the attraction and knowledge of love, is a thing that we can't live without, because love itself is actually all of existence. There is no existence without love. And so the fact that love is the existence, you couldn't live without that addiction. I mean, and those who reject love, they're still under the umbrella of love, but they may not experience it in the same way, but they're still under that umbrella, or they couldn't exist. And so that is the addiction. The addiction is life itself. And so, I manifested you, baby. I'm alive.
Wow, well, we've got such great answers. For Terry, it's family and fun with family, and with Diane, it's that depth, that emanation of embodying love. And with Chris, it was your life story, moving out of another addiction into loving yourself. These are all really rich. And Harrison, tapping into the metaphysics and the process of developing from Wallace Wattles forward, all of the.
Well, there have been many before him.
Of course.
But he articulated it in a way that showed it was substance, that there was substance to it.
Yes, he did refer to it as a substance.
Yeah.
So, is there a correlation between love and survival and thrival? Thriving and survival.
Yeah, survival.
Diane.
Okay, now say that again. Is there
a correlation between love and surviving and thriving?
An addiction.
No, I wasn't talking about an addiction. I'm
Okay.
talking about, well, we could talk about the addiction to love, but you know, if you want to survive and thrive, do you need to have an addiction to love or to have love?
Well, when you say survive, well, going back to what Harrison was saying, it's that if you think of love as the substratum, like what's underlying everything, when during the meditation, I was thinking about it's glue, but glue like the most, fragrant, intoxicating. It's not a good metaphor, but the glue, it's holding everything together. So it's a question of, to thrive, how do we want to use it? I like to think of, as you know, that my life's quest is to have us, meaning all of us as a humanity, go from knowing the wisdom to actually being it. And use the word embodiment when you were talking about my last answer, that to really be the walking, talking embodiment of it. So if you know that you are part and parcel of this amazing, awesome, beyond our greatest imagination of how powerful it is, life force, that being love, that we call love. And, adding all of that emotion that connects us to one another and to everything, all creatures, and everything in this universe. And you think, wow, as you said, Marbeth, we are powerful. But just knowing that as a concept is actually useless. I like to be strong about this. It's useless unless you can actually tap into it. So how do we thrive? Surviving is, you're sort of like I say, you think you just landed on the planet, taking up space on Earth without paying rent, that kind of thing. Or that would be the survival thing. Or, experiencing yourself as a victim of circumstance, whatever the circumstance. Or you can know yourself as this magnificent being who has been given the gift of this power that we're referring to as love, and really take it on. Like, how will you be a leader now in this time that we're in right now? This incredibly, everyone knew we were in a great shift, but little did we know how the shift would really be, this tumult that we're experiencing now in this corona situation. So when you think about, okay, well, how are we going to be right now? Are we just going to talk about love? Am I going to tap into that life force that's powerful beyond what I could even imagine? And thank you, divine source creator, for letting me be part of it. And tap into our own leadership, tap into our own unique expression that we were born with. It. We were born with our own specific gifts, talents, experiences, everything that we've gone through with what Chris, related before, those experiences that give us our next evolution of ourselves. And I think for love, what does it mean to thrive? It's like to just be all in right now. Whatever you've got, bring it forth, right, Harrison? And just, that's it. What's thriving? That's thriving. You bring it forth. And as you say every week in your beautiful meditations, Marbeth, right? The more you put it out, the more you have. It's infinite.
Beautiful, really beautiful. That was so passionate, Diane. I love it.
Love.
Yeah. Terry.
Continue on with the leadership piece, because I'm all about leadership. Thank you, Diane, for the great lead into that. At Intuitive Leadership University, of which Marbeth is one of my faculty members, we have 3 schools, which is the Life Wisdom School, the Business Wisdom School, and the Leadership Wisdom School. And the foundation of all 3 schools is love. It is absolute love, because love and fear cannot sit in the same space. You're either loving or you're in fear. And if I don't know about you, but I choose love, because the moment we go into fear, we're shifting out of love. So imagine teaching leaders, business owners, career professionals, that when we look at business problems, decision making, when we look at communications, when we look at resilience, when we look at project management, from a platform of what do I love about this? What is great about this? What isn't working, and how can we shift it to a place where it is working and serving humanity? All of that, when done with love, it has a very different energy that is integrated through it, that takes whatever it is we're working on to a different level. So in business, we start with an idea. If that idea is full of love, everything that we need from a law of attraction perspective is going to land at our feet anyway to get things done. And those things, when it becomes challenging, it may be the universe saying, hey, it's time to take a detour. Let's take a detour this way. And loving the process, loving the journey, loving the experience, because we may need that detour in order for us to get the project be what we want it to be. So love at the core of everything. People say, oh, love doesn't belong in business. I disagree. Love is at the core of business, because who runs businesses? People. And when you love what?
Really?
Really? But when we love our people, when we love our employees, we honor them, we respect them, we care about them, we appreciate them. They then bring the love back, and the business just grows and expands and grows and expands. So yes, I am passionate about love and business. I've always been passionate about love and business. And people kept saying, oh, Terry, that doesn't work. Oh, you're ahead of your time. Well, guess what? The time is here, folks. Okay, the time is here. We have to put love in business. And this nonsense about leave your emotions at the door, that is such BS. You have to bring your emotions in with you. You leave the blasted drama at the door.
Don't sugarcoat it. Do not sugarcoat it.
I love it. We've got some passionate ladies here. Woo, Chris. Is there a correlation between love and surviving and thriving?
Well, I mean, here's what I like to look at it as Terry pointed it out, fear correlates with survival, right? Yeah. To survive, we're always constantly living in fear, whether if it's really true fear or this projected fear based upon what I like to call limited beliefs from our past that get brought into the moment and then get projected into the future, where your brain is convinced that what you're thinking has already happened when it hasn't. This is like why people get into fight or flight mode in certain situations. So fear is associated with survival, but I like to look at love being associated with revival. I like that they rhyme, so that's why I'm using that. Survival, revival. Revival is all about improvement. It's about process. And the thing about love is that love is a journey. Love is a process. Are there going to be things that are there going to be challenges and setbacks in that process? Absolutely. But we can't appreciate or be grateful for the things where we're going with that process. We don't experience the downsides and the upsides. But the key is it's our attitude and how we approach it. Are we looking for the blessings and the opportunities disguised in the setbacks during that process, rather than getting further ingrained into the problem? So again, with this coronavirus, it's again, either if you're operating from fear because you're caught up in all the things that this virus is doing, you're just getting more engulfed into the problem and you're operating from a fixed mindset. If you are coming from a growth mindset, you're coming from love. You're coming from a place of revival, that this is just part of the process, and knowing that sometimes things like this have to happen to clean the slate, to create the new, which will be better, and what you'll make from that. So the beauty about this, if we're looking at this from a life or business perspective or both, is that again, you have to choose to be in the solution, not the problem. Stop waiting for someone else to come up with the solution. Choose love. Love is always there. It's the highest form of energy there is. And it is the foundation of everything that we do in our relationships, with how we take care of ourselves, how we do business, whether if you want to believe it or not, it's always going to be the case, but it's always our choice. Are you choosing to, again, to operate from fear to survive? Or are you choosing to love to revive and then to thrive? So thriving doesn't mean that everything is going good 100% of the time, but knowing that when we have those downsides, again, it's all good. It's how you look at it and how you embrace it and commit to that process to where you're going.
Very powerful. Very, very powerful, Chris. Harrison, what is your take on this?
Well, the common denominator between thriving and survival is focus. You know, how do you focus? What's the focus aspect of who we are? What's the focus aspect of what we do? And I like to focus on thrive. I don't even deal with survival 99% of the time because, you know, the higher energy always dissolves the lower energy. So when you're in a situation whereby you focus on fear, it's a lower energy. You have situations that come up that are not playful. Not thriving is about ease, and it's about being able to be at ease, both personality wise and function wise and things that you have around you wise. So being at ease is a matter of being playful, and I take my cue from the universe, because the universe is not actually something that is going anywhere. It's not that has no ambition. It's not trying to be anything. It's just playful, just like music is playful. There's no purpose to music. You know, there's just music. There's just the ability to listen. And when Mozart was asked, you know, what's the purpose of music? He didn't say to listen. He said listen, not to listen. So it's just about being playful. So thriving is about, you know, the love of being. And when you're in love with being, you're basically playful by nature. Doesn't mean you have to always exercise that. But, you know, for me, that's a big part of my life. I mean, I love being playful with everybody. And
you love music.
And I love music too. So, you know, it's all part of the same thing. Survival is something that, you know, I mean, I spent my first, oh God, at least almost 3 decades in survival mode. And, you know, I came from Holocaust survivors. They were, you know, terribly broken people. They had pain and fear and inabilities and low self-esteem and dark moments. You know, I reject all that. I don't want to deal with all that kind of stuff. And you know what? It's only a choice. The whole thing is a choice. If they had known that it was a choice, they could have taken different choices, but they didn't. But what I did, I learned that it was a choice. And so I chose to be at a higher space. I chose to be in a thrive space, in a love space, in a place where I could be addicted to the good things in life and not to the bad things in life.
Addicted to love,
I'm
baby.
addicted to love.
Wow.
Robert Palmer's getting an endorsement here.
He's totally getting an endorsement.
I like Robert Palmer.
I love Robert Palmer. I love that video. All those girls, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was wonderful.
She has to slow me down
I
sometimes.
have to, I know. I need that hook, you know, to pull them on and off stage.
The Gong Show.
The Gong Show. Yes, we have the Gong Show. So that was really wonderful. And I love, you know, the passion of everyone here, you know, because I'm very passionate about love. And I love that Diane is, you know, we have to embody it. We have to be it. We can't just give it lip service. We have to actually be in it. And of course, with your do you quantum think, you know, it's all about being in it and not giving it lip service. So that was perfect. And
Can I interrupt for just 1 second?
sure.
Sweetie, I just want to endorse Diane's book, Do You Quantum Think? It was like one of the most amazing books I had ever read in my life.
Very powerful.
Page turner, I didn't even put it down. I couldn't even put it down the entire time. And it really teaches some of the most dynamic principles of thriving.
Thrival.
Thrival.
Not survival.
Revival.
Thrival and revival that there is. So just
Thank
endorsement
you.
for Diane.
Thank you so much, Harrison.
Yeah, no,
You're
you're
welcome.
wonderful. You're rock star, Diane. So, and speaking of rock stars, Terry is also an author of The Enchanted
Oh,
Boardroom.
the Enchanted Boardroom, yes.
Yes, and that's one of my favorite books. There it is.
Okay.
And we're bringing celestial beings into the intuitive process in the boardroom. So I love what you were saying also about business, that you need to bring love into every aspect of it if you want it to thrive. And again, I loved what Chris was saying about revival. That was so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Because
great.
surviving is really just kind of plugging along. But when you bring the love, you really focus on the love in there, then you are just really thriving. And
Thank you,
that's
baby
beautiful.
Jesus.
And as for our Harrison. Yeah, so money is the root of all evil. Does that have any basis in surviving and
Sneeze
thriving?
on that one. Sorry.
So, Terry,
Isn't it interesting? I just sneezed at that moment.
yes, you did. That's why I called on you.
Okay, great. Thanks. I love you too.
What did your enchanted boardroom tell you?
Is money the root of all evil? No, it's not. It's the perception of money being the root of all evil. It's how you think about money. I've got allergies rocking and rolling because I just cleared out the closet. So that's why I'm still sneezing. I've been sneezing all afternoon. So my apologies. The money is not the root of all evil. We actually need money. Money is a wonderful thing. And when we learn to love money, it really, everyone I know who loves money thrives with money. The thing with money, it's our perception of whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing. And a lot of it is created from our environment growing up. My parents saying money doesn't grow on trees, or those kinds of things that influence us in how we think about money. And Marbeth, you and I have talked about it quite a bit lately, around money and different paradigms and exercises to do to release challenges around money, because we give it so much power.
Mhm.
We give money so much power, and the power that we give it is not always positive. It can be negative. And a colleague, I'm not going to say colleague, a woman I know who's a billionaire, she said that she was asked on a panel similar to this, what's it like being a billionaire and having all that money? And what she said was, money amplifies who you already are. If you're kind and wonderful, money's just going to amplify that. If you're loving, money's going to amplify that. If you're a schmuck and not a nice person, money's just going to amplify that. So it's a tremendous amplifier of who you already are. And that person, by the way, was Sarah Blakely of Spanx, who said in a conference that I was attending that line, and it hit me so hard because she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right.
Very cool. Very cool. Diane, what do you think?
Well, thank you, Terry, now for the lead in with that.
That's what we're here for, right?
Oh, right. Being in one conversation, as I said, I have a different view of money that, we all have our own perspective. What lens are you looking through? And quantum occurrence, I love that too, Terry, about money amplifies who you are, because Alan and I are reading, Alan is my partner in all things, my husband and business partner and everything partner. And we decided to read my book in reverse sequence. So next to the last chapter is called Living Fully Dimensionally. And what I'm talking about is that everything in life takes place in all of these dimensions, that there's an infinite number of ways you could distinguish it, but the way I do is these 7: physical, energetic, virtual of the, physical of obvious the body and manifest that way, energetic, all subtle and other kinds of energy, virtual of the mind and consciousness. Let's see if I can remember, spiritual of the heart, cosmic of the natural law, and the esoteric of the soul and evolution, and divine, which is the ultimate mystery. So that encompasses and responsible for them all. So if you look at money, which is what I'm doing in that chapter, through these 7 dimensions, first of all, money is central to life. So if, to the extent that everybody needs money, even beggars need money, charities need money, governments need money, everybody needs money, because in this stage of our social evolution, and it could change, but it'll always be a piece of this, that money is central to life. Everybody wants money. If you think it's not spiritual or it's not virtuous, you're going to be really keeping money from you because of the energetic quality of life, that dimension. As we know, that the magnetic quality of it. So, the thing is, what is money? So I'll be brief because I have to give other people a chance to say this, Chris and Harrison, that if you think of what is it, it's like we're born, right? Divine source, we come down, this soul comes into this incarnation. We come into this incarnation, and if you look at, I'm a big astrology buff, you look at astrology or numerology or any of the mystic science arts, and you have a blueprint of what you came in with. And this is where we have the tendency and the potential of any of the unique talents or gifts that we have. So you got the divine bringing the soul, your soul comes in, and then your spirit, right, takes over. Am I going to, as Terry said, what am I going to choose? Am I going to choose this? Am I going to choose that, Harrison? Am I going to choose to be in, suffering like my ancestors, or you're going to be, thank God, Harrison, you chose to be the lively, entertaining, playful genius that you are. So it's like this, when it comes down to it, we're born with a talent. We produce something from that talent. Mm-hmm. We can't use it all, so we create an exchange to exchange it. And so fundamentally, could we say money is divine? Maybe not in and of itself, but it's something that we created representationally that represents our divine purpose on earth. So for me, is money evil? Absolutely not. No. And, in quantum science, it's an observer created reality. What you bring to your observation is what you get. If you bring that it's evil, you're going to have a really tough time with it. If you bring that it's looking at, every time you have an exchange of money, pay a bill, whatever, that, wow, that is the culmination of like literally millions and probably billions of people, the effort that everything we use, everything in our life has thousands and millions and probably billions of people's effort put into it. That's money.
Beautiful. I love that.
Love it.
Chris, what's your take on that?
I agree with everybody that talks with Terry and Diane. I mean, money is not the root of all of it. Money is a wonderful thing. Again, it's what we do with it. It's a form of energy, just like with anything. Everything is energy. And we can choose to look at it, and it's always a choice. So again, when you look at money, and either there's going to be a lack of, or there's going to be abundance of. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or not. You can still have abundance. There could be people that have lots of money, but still have a lack of it too. So it could go either way. It's what you do with that money. It's the value that you bring each and every day. And that's what it's all about. It's not about the money itself. It's about that value. And every time that you are bringing value and you trust that process. I like to call it give without expectation, receive without resistance. That even when, let's say, you don't have money for whatever reason, maybe you're starting a new business and things are a little tight, you're giving without expectation. You're not allowing someone to overstep that boundary and take advantage of you, but you're not expecting anything in return, knowing that it will come back from somewhere else. And it's that when that happens, when you do get money, let's say if it's just enough to get by for that week or that month, and the more that you're grateful for it, more will come. And it's not the money itself, it's what we do with that money, how we grow ourselves, how we add more value to the community, or add more value to our industry, to our families, to the people we love, to globally, whatever the cause may be. That's what's really important. So can money be a form of love? Absolutely. Yeah. But again, it's just people's perceptions of how they've been raised, the limited beliefs. Again, what you grow up observing what you see from either a parent or two parents. So again, it's that dialogue with money that's either going to work for you or against you when it comes to money. And if money is the root of all evil, and that's what you believe, then again, nobody's here to tell you that what you think is wrong. No, that's your choice. Again, there's no right or wrong here, but it's that if you're not where you want to be and you're struggling, that you can kind of look outside of yourself to find out why is something not working for you. And maybe perhaps it's because of the way I'm looking at money, and that the lack of is because I've already created that in my mindset. That's what I'm attracting to, more of a lack of. So we have to be able to kind of change our perspective and know it's not about the money itself. It's, again, what this money can do for us personally to grow and be of value and impact others.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement, and I haven't gotten to Harrison yet, that money is not the root of all evil. That money has a lot of potential to be what we want it to be, and that it's basically energy. And Harrison, do you want to add
Stop stealing my shit, guys.
Wait, Harrison, you got to go first.
Well, yes, I believe a couple things that I want to address this with. Number one is the fact that, the terms good and evil are, kind of crazy terms. They really don't mean anything. Yeah. So they're simply a perception that we choose by nature based on how we've been conditioned one way or the other. Money is absolutely neutral. It's strictly energy.
Right.
Neither good nor evil. It just is something that exists as a form of exchange. And the value of what we exchange with the volume of what we exchange, creates the acceptance of money, or the influx of money, income to us of money, basically. But all of it is in one form or another. What is the value that we're creating for ourselves? And the way that money comes into being is, number one, our feeling of deservedness, our feeling of worthiness, as self-love, as we begin to appreciate, confidence, as we begin to appreciate ourselves more and more. Money, gratitude, it all comes back to us and all comes in. Now, how could that be evil, to love yourself? That's like saying you have too much health, can't have too much health, so what you get is to the extent that you understand that, the value of what something is the value that is according to what you feel your worthiness is to deserve, your ability to receive and your ability to deserve. And then the fun of it is the ability to also put it out, so that it can be cyclical in your life, and it rotates, coming in, going out. And the richest people on the planet and the most fluent people on the planet know that it's a circulation, just like air is a circulation. You can't ask.
Give without expectation, receive without resistance.
I love that, Chris. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
And all of you guys had tremendous answers on this.
Absolutely.
So, and by the way, I do want to acknowledge the fact that Chris has a book too. So what's the name of your book, Chris?
The name of the book is Master Your Inner Critic, Resolve the Root Cause, Create Prosperity. So it's a lot of what we're talking about, not just about money, about everything in life and business. And so
Chris is a rock
everyone that's
star.
saying great things that we're all in agreement in terms of how we view things in life.
And Chris also has a radio show on Voice America.
He does.
Yeah, well, you know, Chris is a rock star and also a partner of mine on some projects as well. So,
So yeah, so I wanted to, I have a few things to say myself, my love. So
shut the.
I love the chin pat.
it's like, don't get me started. So yes, I think that this has really been awesome, and everybody has had such amazing things to say about money. And I think one of the most important things about it is the gratitude, that it is energy. It's completely neutral. I will totally agree with that. And it's just energy, and we're just energy. We're all just energy. That's what we are. We are love, intelligent energy, but love. But money is also energy. And if we infuse that energy with love, we infuse that energy with gratitude, whether it's coming in or going out, then we have this wonderful flow, and it just moves completely easily. And I think the key to that, the lubricant for that is gratitude, to really appreciate it as it goes in. And I the other day I wrote down 50 things that I appreciated about money. And it wasn't, just about money, but I went back even years about the things that money has bought me. And I felt such overwhelming gratitude for it. It was just absolutely wonderful, and definitely created a great big shift. So we're getting back to, we're getting a little close to the top of the hour. So we'll have one more round. And what are you doing to survive and thrive in this time of challenge and chaos? So let's start with Chris.
Well, I mean, when we have these challenging times, these are all things that go back to the dawn of time, right? If you look in the Bible, there's always going to be these challenging times. Again, it comes down to, you have a choice. What do you do in these challenging times? Do you further get caught up in the problem, or do you look for the blessings and the opportunities disguised in those challenges? So what I do in these chaotic times is I use it as a time to reflect, meaning that I can control what I can control, but I let go of what I can't. We're conditioned as people to always hang on to things that we can't control. This is why we get caught up in the past and the future, and allowing fear to project itself in the future that creates a level of worry, anxiety, and why we procrastinate. This is an opportunity right now to really kind of go within to reflect, where you are and where you want to be. You can't now use, hey, I don't have the time, I don't have, whatever, because there's plenty of time now, because there's certain things that we can't do beyond our control. Right. So during these times, sometimes the most incredible things come about. People are transformed during dark times. Many successful companies have been born and spawned from these difficult times. Look at Microsoft. I mean, in the recession of 1987, that's where they came from. So there are some miraculous things that happen during these challenging times. But again, it's how you look at it, either from a fixed or a growth mindset. Always your choice and decision to choose.
Nice, very nice. Diane.
Well, I have this current practice of mine to have fun with it. Not with the corona, but you can have fun with it, as Chris is saying. And that is, what lens are you looking through? Mm-hmm. So I have, because there are so many lenses, and of course, on this topic, every 30 seconds, there's a new text notification coming through with another lens. And so what I like to do is I look through the lenses that I like to look through, which is financial news. I'm very interested in the stock market. I have been for a while. And so I like to look at the financial, the news from the financial standpoint. I like to look at the astrological, what's going on astrologically. And this year is that big shakeup of all the systems and structures. And today, as a matter of fact, as we're recording this, Saturn is going, for anyone who likes to know real quick,
Yes,
Saturn
tell us.
is going into Aquarius. It's like, we know we're going into the age. This is 26,000 year time period, but of Aquarius. So this is giving us a little bit of an experience of what that is, and it has to do with innovation. What Chris was referring to. Things, it will come. There will be there already are. The other one of my lenses is cutting edge technology. I like to look through that. Of course, I look through the lens of quantum think, and I look through the lens of why am I here to reach my highest self-realized, God-realized state of being. So those are my lenses. So when you look through all these, so that's what I go on YouTube and I listen to, the channeled wisdom. I listen to the conspiracy theorists. I listen to Fox News. I listen to sometimes MSNBC, all the liberal, the conservatives, the intellectual dark web, all of it, because if you can be beyond, this is how I like to deal with it, beyond any conditioned beliefs, okay? You won't get stuck in fear because you realize there's something larger going on and that it's evolutionary, and that a lot of these systems and structures that, the quantum think lenses were born under the 17th century worldview, and now we're in a quantum worldview, so they have to break down a little. So I don't get scared. And I think I have really ultimate faith in humanity, in people, that we got, and then we know from the esoteric realm, all this light energy, the frequency is getting higher, deeper, like floods of light. So getting back to how do we deal with it? We have this time of reflection. It's like somebody called it the other day, forced collective meditation. And so you go in, and if you're aware and you're not in your fear mode, if you're in your clear state of awareness, and listen, it's not like I don't get nervous or fearful or do practical things, washing the hands and all the other thing. I read up about why that works, and yes, definitely do it. But anyway, it's that you can literally download, right? You can really get some powerful insights right now. Each of us individually. That's what the time is, I would say, like from the cosmic view. So that's how I deal with it, is I look at every view, like the worst views, the best views, the in-between, the things, the people who are in government, who are scared to death. I live in Miami. They had spring break, they shut down the beaches. Today they went out and everybody got together in boats on the Biscayne Bay. They shut down the boats. So it's like you have to look at these things, almost laugh, and then say, how am I going to hold this in my consciousness, in my awareness? Because, to go back full circle to what I said in the beginning, we're emanating it out. This is the time that we get to literally walk the talk, live the wisdom. We create reality. Let's focus on what we want to create.
Yeah.
And there's Terry's Awaken the Possibilities. That's right. My wonderful podcaster, Terry. I've been on her show. I've been on Chris's show.
3 times. Yeah.
I know.
All of you, Terry's been on the show. I've been on her show, and hers.
I know.
Well, we gotta get
We gotta get you on the show, man. We gotta get you cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Diane's links, and I did put your Facebook links. I'll put the book links up on Facebook as well.
Great.
Because, so we get all this information out. Boy, this is the most active chat I've had. Thanks to Lori Ranseth Payne. Thank you so much, you guys. We've gone a little bit over the hour. I'm going to copy and paste all of the chat so it can show up in our Facebook group as well.
Nice.
You guys are amazing. Harrison, I didn't tune into you.
No, do you want to?
A little bit.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Okay, short and sweet. So this is a time that we're being forced away from materialism into our own
Right.
heart space. We're being forced to introspect. We're being forced to reflect. And, this is not unusual, because the fact is we've been asking for this for a long time, for humanity to come together as one. And the beautiful thing is that it's not being done through war. It's not being done through some sort of a warlike leverage that forces us into killing each other, and then we come out and then thrive after that. But we're being forced to look at ourselves and look into ourselves in a much more significant way than we have. And by the isolation, we become sensitive not only to ourselves, but we become sensitive to everyone and everything around us. And that sensitivity is the place where our heart blossoms into a higher space. It brings on satori, it brings on beautiful experience, it brings on a connection with other people at very, very deep levels. And so even though we're not touching each other, we are touching each other in a very wonderful way, because we are going into the oneness of all of us and not into the individuality of each of us. So that's my take on it.
I think it's wonderful. And I see so many blessings in this experience. The fact that we have
I don't believe anything.
the fact that we have this wonderful connection, that that we are connected but not physically. Here we think that everything has to be like associated with our physical body, but the truth is, as I said in the meditation earlier, this is just a very small part of who we actually are. We're so much greater than that, and that's the part that's reaching out and touching other people. And what a beautiful thing. And sharing this power collectively. There have been so many. Today there was Marianne Williamson had 2 minutes of prayer today. Yesterday, 11 organizations came together for global coherence, and that was really quite powerful. And I understand the Pope is meeting again tonight. So there's so much collective meeting on the spiritual realm at this point because of this. What a blessing.
And thank you, Martha, for doing so consistently. That's my word of the year, consistency. You're sending out that light from you and bringing everyone together this way. It's really so admirable. I have to say, I admire you for it, and I really appreciate it, and just really deeply grateful that you're doing this, and you're doing it with consistency, and you're doing it with your love of your life.
The love of my life, who joins me occasionally, although now he's not going out, so we're stuck with him.
Well, that could, but everyone beautifully said, everyone, and thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been an amazing panel. We'll be here next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.